Hello, welcome back again to the part 2 of our lecture series for FBS 1 Forest Ecology. Now in my last video, we discussed about the different definition of terms of ecology. Now again, as continuation, Burdon, Sanderson in 1980s elevated ecology to one of the three natural divisions of biology: physiology, morphology, and ecology. So in the past centuries, researchers and scientists have had these pillars of biology, like physiology and morphology. Those were the pillars once. Now, in 1890s, Burdon and Sanderson proposed that ecology be included in the three pillars of studying biology, or the major um, branches of biology, because ecology again is very important in studying how organisms interact and live with each other. Now, also in 1961, Andre Wartha defined ecology as the scientific study of the distribution and abundance of organisms. Now, if you just observe that in every places, may nagud unique nga, like unique environmental feature, unique organisms, unique plant and animals that is present in that particular area. Okay? That is why Andre Worth in 1961 defined ecology as the scientific study of the distribution and abundance of organisms. So that is one branch of studying ecology, which is diversity. Usa na sa lesson nga ato nga i-discuss how diverse or gaano ka klase-klase, kadamo nga klase-klase ng organism is living within that particular area. Now, for this course, we adopt this definition of ecology. Ecology is the study of the relationship between organisms and their environment. When we say organism, those are the plants, animals, and all the microorganisms present in that particular location. Macro and microorganisms. Environment, when we say environment, that is the physical and the biological conditions under which an organism lives. We say the physical conditions like kung sa man diha ang moisture diha, ang precipitation, ang temperature, ang relative humidity in that particular area mo nang atong pinaka-environment. We talked about relationship, that is the interactions with the physical world as well as the interrelationship with members of other species and individuals of the same species. So when we study ecology, those are the three keywords that we need to understand: organisms, environment, and relationship. Always put in mind that when we study ecology, we are dealing with how does the organisms and the environment is related, have their relationships. Okay? Now, another very important concept when we study ecology is ecosystem. Now, ecosystem is defined as their organisms and their environment and all the interactions that link organisms with one another and their environment. Again, we say eco, that is the environment. System, when we say system, that's complex of coordinated parts. Now, a system, for example, in our body, we have different kinds of system. We have the circulatory system, we have the digestive system, we have the respiratory system. Now, if imong nabatayan, the system is composed of organs, di ba? Now, cells, tissues, organs, system, then a single body. Now, a system is composed of organs. Example, ang atong respiratory system. What are the organs that consist of respiratory system? Consist of our lungs, our nose, our throat. Di ba? Now, the same with this system concept. In ecosystem, the environment is composed of different organs or components that work together in order to function as one. Okay? For example, the forest ecosystem. So, ang forest is an ecosystem. It's composed of many different components that functions as one. The trees, the animals, grasses, vines, woody lianas, they are all interconnected with each other and functions as one. That's why we call that as a forest ecosystem. Ang usa ka component ana, you call that as a tree, for example. Call that as a monkey. Call that as a flying bird here. Okay? And if all those components work together in a particular environment, we call that as ecosystem. Now, we also have energy processing systems whose components have evolved together over a long period of time. Mga energy processing systems. We'll be discussing that on our lesson number 2, which is energy flow and nutrient cycle. In every ecosystem, may kita different energy processing systems. For example, for vegetation, for forest, for example, we have nutrient cycling in a forest ecosystem. What do you mean by that? Plants needs moisture and other macronutrients in order to survive. Most plants need macronutrients, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Those are the macronutrients needed by plants in order to grow. Moisture. Without moisture, those macronutrients, NPK, will not be consumed by the plants without water or without moisture. So through time, yung forest ecosystem, naka-establish na siya og mode in order for this, how this energy process system works. Iba ang energy processing system sa imong forest ecosystem, iba ang energy processing system sa imong grassland ecosystem, o iba nga do sa imong desert ecosystem. Why? Because of the different components availability. For example, in the forest, taas ang rainfall, taas ang moisture. In your grassland, although may the rainfall, pero ang iyang root system sa imong mga grasses, dili ingon nga deep ang iyang root system, di ba? For example, if kita ko lang nato sa moisture availability, mas taas ang moisture availability sa imong forest ecosystem compared sa imong grassland ecosystem o compared sa imong desert ecosystem. That is why vegetation of that different ecosystems vary. And of course, diversity of those organisms living within that particular ecosystem. Okay? And then we also have boundaries of the system are determined by forms of life that can be sustained by the environmental conditions of a particular region. So if ato nabantayan, may dagya po kita boundaries of system. Di ba may kita boundary from a forest, transition to agricultural areas, transition to river systems, and then through the ocean ecosystem or the aquatic ecosystem or the marine ecosystem, di ba? Ang imong, for example, ibutang nato ang imong mangrove, ang imong mga bakawan, if kamo nagpuyo mo daplin og dagat, may nakita mga bakaw forest, gyapon ang mangroves are forest. It's a different forest type. Natay gitawag nga different forest types, di ba? Na-discuss na ninyo sa introduction to forestry last semester. We have different forest types. We have the mangrove forest, we have the dipterocarp forest, the Mojave forest, and so on and so forth. Now, why is it nga dili naman lang isa lang ang atong klase nga forest diri sa tibuok kalibutan or diri sa Pilipinas? Why? Because in each region may nakita different climatic conditions, okay? Different soil conditions that would dictate what kind of vegetation will thrive or motumbo ana nga particular area. That is why there are boundaries. Ngadto ana nga mga boundaries nakadetermine ang availability sa particular the availability or the potential or the optimum environmental condition for a particular organism to thrive. If ang usa ka organism suludan nga hirag siya sa usa ka area, di na guna siya mobalhin kadto sa pikas. Ang imong mga mangrove forest, ang imong mga bakaw, di gyud mo ngadto sa pinakaibabaw sa imong bukid because they will not thrive. Okay? Because of this particular region or boundaries of the system. Now, we have applications of ecology. No, sa inyong pag-study sa ecology, sir, ano man ba to study aning ecology? Ano kinahanglan pa man mag-study ecology so may application ani in forestry or in science in general. So ecology is very important if you want to become a forester, you need to manage resources. In forestry, what kind of resources are you managing? We are managing the forest, timber, kahoy, ang atong ginma-manage. It's very important we know how forest works and how the ecosystem works in order for us to properly make sound decisions in studying forestry or make sound decision in forest management. Agriculture. It's very important gyapon that we know ecology because in agricultural systems may gyapon ka different components in agriculture like the plant component, the soil component, climatic, di ba? And the organism living in the soil. Sa wildlife management, it's very important. There is sa Pilipinas, wala ni kayo ng wildlife management. Sa gawas, if you're planning to go abroad, there are many job opportunities in wildlife management. Now, in wildlife management, you are dealing with managing not just the animals, but also the habitat of those animals. Biodiversity conservation, ecotourism projects, we have impacts of development projects, humans and climate change, and a lot more. Okay? Now, ecology is pinaka-major branch of science na. Okay? Under biology. No. A different branch of science ang imo ecology. Now, we have also subtopics in ecology like applied ecology, industrial ecology, ecological engineering, ecological economics, urban ecology. These are all specialization. Makita nato nga kadamo pa ang kaning ecology is a very broad topic and there are many specialization within these topics. Okay, and I want you to read na lang about that, different branches of ecology. Kaning pinaka-importante, the levels of studying ecology. I know gyapon na discuss din ninyo sa inyong introduction to forestry. And the levels of studying ecology is that we have the biosphere. Ang atong biosphere ang atong Earth. Planet Earth is our biosphere. Next is ang atong biome. So many mga biome, these are the pinaka-dagko ba mga unsay tawag ganing bigger ecosystems on Earth. Example of biome, what are the biome? The forest biome. We have the ocean biome. We have the taiga, the boreal forest, and so on and so forth. Diba, nata? The tropical rainforest, the boreal forest. Ang tropical forest, rainforest, as mga makita, these are kinds of forests that can be found near the equator and receives a lot of precipitation throughout the year. Na may kita deserts. Ang atong deserts, mao na ang ato nga mga naa sa may Africa, naa sa Australia. These are arid environments or these areas or these regions that receive less moisture. Thus, species or plants and animals thriving in that area is very different compared sa tropical rainforest. And then we have the temperate rainforest, temperate deciduous forest. If atong mabantayan, nato sa gawas, diba na sila yung mga maple or mga cherries and maple, those are temperate trees, temperate tree species. Paano bantayan is sa Japan? Kabantay mo sa TV or sa anime, you can see that in Japan, there are times in Japan that they have this called the autumn season or the fall. Nga ang ilang mga maple trees change into color from green into orange. Okay? Because that is the preparation, adaptation of those tree species for the coming winter. Gintatanggal nila ilang mga dahon in order for them to conserve energy during winter. Kaya during winter, wala available nga moisture. Kaya mo nang ipananggal nila yung dahon. That is why they have fall. Sa Pilipinas, wala man kita winter, wala man kita snow. That is why ang mga dahon sa atong mga kahoy are green all throughout the year. Majority of our trees. And then we have the ecosystem. Ang ecosystem is much more specific, like ang atong specific forest ecosystem, there is sa San Jorge, forest ecosystem ngadto sa Gandara, and so on and so forth. You have here the different definition. We have community. Now we have the interacting population, which significantly affect each other's distribution and abundance. Intertidal, hot spring, wetland. So interacting population, may population there is, for example, that particular forest, kintahay, may the population of lawaan, population of mga unggoy, population of mga tamsi. Okay? Muna ang usa nga community. May different population which interacts in a specific area. And then we have the population. When we say population, that is a group of interacting and interbreeding organism. A population of, for example, for trees, population of lawaan. Ang lawaan, mo lang na silang mga kahoy nga lawaan, mga babae, mga lalaki, mo lang na pwede mag-interact in order to make another lawaan. Hindi pwede ang imong lawaan nga kahoy makig-mate ngadto sa nara because that's very impossible. Okay? As long as there is an individual interacting and interbreeding organism mo ng population of cats, population of dogs, etc.